Friday, May 8th. Give an update on how things are going. So I'm waiting here for Amy to get done with physical therapy. Then I head home and got some work to do, and we'll focus on some outdoor stuff this weekend. How things going? We got Ankeny open today. So I checked the sales for the first hour. A few people were in there. What's been surprising to me over the last week since we opened Ames and now we get Ankeny open, that online sales have still been really strong, which is really encouraging, which means people are using that. Hopefully I'm sure that'll continue after we get out of this epidemic and stuff. So online sales have been strong. Curbside pickup, consignment has been really strong too. People have been bringing in stuff. I think they were itching while they were home, have been home, cleaning things out. So looking pretty encouraged so far. PPP, first payroll was today, in the second payroll, the first bigger payroll out. So we're on track to hit our about 85% of that. I've actually talked to two people this week about how they're doing things, and one of the recommendations I've been given that came from our NARTS thing is that if you don't know if you're going to hit the 75% payroll, then what you should do, instead of giving your employees a raise, which then if you give them a raise, you may have to take it back, in order to hit that 75%, is you should bonus your employees that have been flexible for you, that have been good for you, those types of things. So if you're going to be shy of the 75%, you may want to look at those employees and say, and drop them an extra $200, $300, $400, $500 or something like that. Just make sure they don't average over $1,800 a week over that 8-week period, $1,900 a week over the 8-week period, because you're only allowed to reimburse up to $100,000 of average your annual income on that. So be careful with that. Otherwise, the reports we're getting on the consignment side, the resale side across the country and in Canada, is that people are returning strong to the market. So I think that's encouraging. Restaurants, I would guess, have a different type of thing, because they really rely on occupancy to generate revenue, because their margins are a lot smaller than ours. So I'm expecting retail to eventually come back strong. So the ones that have weathered it. So cash, what we're finding is what I've really found. I've always thought this, but I've never had a case to really prove it. And people always say cash is king. Cash is king during this time. So cash has been a lifesaver, and that's probably a reason why a lot of small businesses don't make it, is because they get these ups and downs and then don't have the cash to keep going. On the Eidl front, still waiting. It sounds like from our association that SBA is going to be finishing up Eidl. If you put an application in before April 1st, that last week in March, they're going to get that stuff next week. So we're expecting that Eidl paperwork. Once we get the paperwork, sign it. I'm understanding it's about 2 days for that money to be deposited. So how we're going to work with that is, we got the Eidl application in. We're going to take if you take over $200,000, you have to be personally guarantee. Over $500,000, you have to go through a bunch of paperwork. So we're going to probably take around the $200,000 or less for us. And then you have 12 months no payment on that at 3.75% interest. And the interest does accrue from the day you get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that money, drop it into a savings account, kind of see how things work. Because, as we get in the fall, if this thing spikes up again and we have to close again, we can work on that, use that money to help stay afloat. As I said, cash is king. That's why we're doing the Eidl. And then once we get to a year from now, if we don't touch it, which I'm not expecting that we're going to, then what we'll do is we'll just lump sum pay the federal government back, and the interest on that, look at the interest as an insurance policy. So we pay a few $100 in interest each month in order to have access to cash in the bank. So that's our plan with the Eidl at this point. So anyway, she should be getting done here pretty soon. So I'll kind of let you go. I'll report back Monday, kind of let you know how the weekend went for sales. It's going to be a little chilly this weekend, but nice. And I'm going to take some time. Told Amy I'm going to smoke some. I got a pork butt, smoke tomorrow. Maybe do some grilling. I think I'm gonna work outside the rest of the day today. I got some meetings, so I'm gonna sit out on the deck. It's a little chilly and windy, but I think it'll be nice to refresh. And then I know a lot of small business owners, it's hard to get time off, but I've found over the last week or so some hard work getting your fingernails dirty has been really good for the brain, for everything else. And for the company I work for, we also got an email from the president that talked about taking some vacation. And even though you can't really go anywhere or anything, I think some time, taking a day or two off, is really a good way of doing it. Whether you go for a drive, I've already done that. I drove up to Roland and around, and just kind of got out for a few hours. And sometimes I really think that's a good way to do, get out and see some things different. So anyway, I'll sign out and we'll catch everyone Monday.